In this video I talked to Steven from the YouTube channel 𝗧-𝗦𝗛𝗧 about his journey of going all in on mining during the 2021 bull market, taking home insane profits during that period, all to just get completely wrecked as the Ethereum merge and bear market hit in late 2022. We talk about what he learned from that experience and what you can do to avoid ending up in the same position that he was in, as well as how he took his bad situation and fully turned it around using a completely new mining strategy that I think will appeal to a lot of you guys. So, all of that is what's coming up in this video after a quick word from our sponsor. Coin Mining Central is an online store for ASIC miners, and there's no doubt that right now ASIC mining is by far looking like the most profitable type of mining, and the miners that I'm personally most interested in right now would probably be the Bitmain L7 and E9 Pro, as well as the Jasminer X16Q. And what's cool about Coin Mining Central is that they always offer free worldwide express shipping, and I've always felt fully comfortable recommending them to you guys, and here's why. As opposed to most other ASIC vendors that are based overseas, Coin Mining Central is based and run out of England, Europe, where they have to adhere to the very strict regulations for customer support and personal detail protection that we have over here. And of course, all brand new miners come with a full manufacturer warranty as well. And because of this, Coin Mining Central has been a highly trusted ASIC miner store for miners like you and me for over 5 years at this point. They also care about this community, being very active and reachable on social media, and they've also provided loads of exclusive discount codes for you guys that you can use together with the link in the video description to save big on any miner that you want to get. And speaking of prices, I don't know if you've noticed, but ASIC prices have been dropping dramatically these past few months, so right now could be a very good time to stock up on some cheap hardware before the crypto market recovers, especially considering you get the already competitive pricing that Coin Mining Central has, plus the free worldwide shipping, plus the exclusive discount codes that I mentioned. So go check that out today. I'll have all of those discount codes and the exclusive link for you down in the video description. All right, so I'm super excited to be here with Steven from 𝗧-𝗦𝗛𝗧. Steven, thank you so much for joining me today. Everyone, please, after watching this video, go check out his channel, subscribe, watch all of his videos twice, and there, yeah. But we'll get into some really interesting things here, because I feel like Steven has a very relatable story of kind of like how his mining journey has looked so far and the lessons he has sort of brought with him and the sort of change in strategy that he's gone for during this bear market. So Steven, again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thank you, Seb, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I watched your journey from the very beginning. I remember the 1060s and the 1070s, and I remember you like getting your first brand new card,
yeah,
and being so excited, and then getting some cards like your first 30 series card, you know, and then the first few that were all the same,
yeah,
and like those little wins, right, back in the day, like that. Some of the most exciting times.
You're making me all nostalgic now.
I know. I love it.
All right, so let's not focus on me here. You're the star of this show.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Take us to sort of like the 2021 bull market. What were you doing in mining? What was your strategy then? What was going on for you?
Well, for me, 2021, I had started out as a trader. I used to trade and even had coaching back in about 2011 or so, and I was trading Forex. And when crypto came up, like towards the late of 2020, I was all in on trading, trading all the time. And I kind of started tinkering with, you know, like a lot of people, 1 or 2 GPUs, you know, and I ended up making like a 3060 Ti rig. And it was great. I mean, that thing made $27 a day, you know, yeah, easy. And I was still really into trading, and I ended up selling that thing for a huge profit. I mean, I think I built it for, I know, under $4,000 and sold that thing for over 11, yeah, you know, yeah, but then I went back into my trading. So, not too far, you know, about after we took that big dip, I decided, you know, I really wanted to go hard into mining. And that's when I just loaded up on GPUs and I really laid out a plan for myself.
So just sorry to interrupt you. What's the time frame here? Is this sort of like mid 2021 or
it
where
is? Let's see. We're looking at right around May. I would say around May 2021.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it was right after that big large dip off the 60,000 mark. So I knew, like, for so many people, we thought maybe that was already the peak, you know. Yeah. I was really building I was going to do like a bear market build, you know, and I just thought this is a long-term strategy. And but shortly after, I had a bad foot injury, and this was devastating for me. But at the same time, I was able to stay home and work on my mining a little bit, you know, at least have something.
Yeah.
And but I'm rambling a little bit.
Oh, that's
but,
what these videos are for. We love it. We love hearing the raw sort of train of thought here, you know, like.
Yeah. So, slowly with my injury, I was building up my farm, and mining was absolutely a blessing to me and my family at that time. I mean, the income was literally sustained us. You know, it was a true blessing to us, and really I was making more in mining than I had in my day job at that time. So it was amazing. It became like a real dream that I could build this, you know, build a company, because I mine under an LLC, and have this. And I thought, you know, just extra financial freedom, which is important to so much of us, all of us. You know.
So was this just off of GPU mining at this moment, or had you dipped into other sort of genres of mining at this point?
At this moment, it was all GPU, because of my injury. I actually had 3 S19s ordered for this when I ordered all my equipment, but because of my injury, I was not able to build out a mining room in my garage like I had originally planned. So I ended up selling those S19s for a profit and just loading up on GPUs. So all in all, I had about almost 4.5 gigahash of ETH mining.
That's back then. That was a lot.
It was. I mean, it was about 10 grand a month that was coming in.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, it was amazing. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So. But as I started to get well, and our house was so hot. I mean, we had a foot of snow outside at times, and it could be into the teens Fahrenheit, and we had the air conditioner on all winter long. It was crazy.
It's that old joke of like, how to find the miner in your neighborhood is look who's got the windows open in the middle of the winter, you know?
Right. Well, so when it came time, like when springtime was coming around, and it came time to like oh, we've got to do something about this heat. You know, my wife was really kind of sick of them by then and didn't even want them in the garage.
Yeah. So
she's kind of the one that pushed me to go and build a shop. And I did that. I was able to do that. But then that's around the time when the ETH merge came. GPU prices were going down already. And or let's say mining prices were going down already, but the pricing of the GPU, you could still get about $16-17 per mega hash on the GPUs. And with as many GPUs as I had, I was able to find like a huge miner down in Louisiana, and I unloaded my entire farm off to them.
Oh, so you sold off pretty much all your GPUs to them then?
I sold off almost all my GPUs, thinking I was being smart by going into ASICs and preemptively before the ETH merge.
Yeah.
So what happened is I thought, you know, I'll go into Bitcoin ASICs. I was thinking ETH merge is going to kill GPU profits like completely.
And you were right in that.
Yes, I was. And I thought I'm going to go into Bitcoin ASICs, and the profits are not going to be there, but it's still going to be like a little profitable, you know, was my hope.
Yeah.
And I turned out being wrong on that.
So you, at that point, you had sold off more or less your entire GPU mining farm, and or sort of converted it into a Bitcoin ASIC mining farm. And then you, I guess, received your Bitcoin ASICs. But at that point, we were heading straight for the bear market. Is that kind of where the timing is, right?
I would say the timing was about March 2022. And we had made that dip down to almost about 33,000. And I was getting my ASICs when we were about back up to 40,000 on Bitcoin.
Okay.
So this was a little bit, it was when we had hit a bottom and we had started climbing up a little bit as well.
Okay.
And so I was feeling good because the profits were still coming in, you know. Yeah. And then I also had the mine shop built right at the right time, so that I had the facility to house the ASICs. You know, I really try to be thoughtful in planning in this and really run it as a business.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I want the viewers to really go and look for on your channel is your shed build, because it's like it is so well thought out. Like you the everything from the layout and the structure, and it's like it's like the perfect mining shed, and you're sitting in it now, aren't you?
I am. This is the office in the mining shed. You know, this is like the command. It's the command center. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I had my injury, I had so much time to think, and there was a moment in the beginning of my injury after my surgery, I was in bed for 2 months. Literally 2 months. And I was able to start my GPUs, like before my surgery, I was able to I had cases. I always had server cases. Like, to me, server cases, when everybody else was doing like AAA wave. I was like, no, you know, server cases, you know, like superior. I'm just, you know, I had no voice back then on YouTube, but
I'm also a big proponent for the server cases just because of the ease of use for one, but also how it really helps you control the airflow and the heat management of your GPU mining rigs.
And it funnels the air right where you need it.
Yep.
And also fire safety as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because I was thinking huge about, I had them stacked in my house. Yeah. If you go back and watch my video, I show some still shots of my old setup, and fire safety was a big thing for me as well. But so I had my ASICs, and then I guess right about, I'm looking at the chart now, March 2022, we had that huge drop from 47, and it was down to, 17 in a matter of a couple months. It's like it never stopped.
Yeah, I'm bringing the chart up on my computer here too, so that I can follow along. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's when we really saw the big dip, kind of
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from March 2022 to June, it was just, it never stopped. It seemed like.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where we are still now. So was that dip then like deep enough to push your Bitcoin ASICs into unprofitability? Is that kind of the...
It was. And sadly, I had a domino effect of things that kind of went against me. And what I say is like my most forced error was actually going into Bitcoin ASICs.
Specifically Bitcoin ASICs?
Absolutely, specifically Bitcoin. But if I have to generalize the error was not realizing who my competition was and like the level of competition. And Bitcoin ASICs are max level.
Yeah.
Like it's $1 billion industry, multi-billion dollar industry.
Yeah.
And to think that, I had 8.8 to 9 cent electricity at the time.
Which is pretty good.
Which is great. I would say for a home miner or a private one-man show, that's excellent. But that's not anywhere near enough to compete in the Bitcoin market, the Bitcoin mining market.
No, at least not during a bear market.
Absolutely not. But I've actually got a project for you and me to work on, and it has to deal with figuring out the formula for a profitability.
Okay.
Because the way corporate miners calculate profits and the value of their ASICs is not like at all, hobbyists or home miners do it. And that's where I believe that home miners go wrong so often, is we're just always in our head, profit. And even now, I believe in this bear market, a lot of people are thinking about profiting right now, which is, I don't think it's the right time to think about profit. I think this is the time to be setting up to make profits.
Yeah, you produce, I get like a lot of coin to hold for later. Is that what you're kind of getting at there?
Yeah, right now in trading, you would call this an accumulation zone. Basically, where the market dips down, it might go flat. That's where you accumulate. But also as a miners, you need to be setting up. We're hardware people, right? So the strategy I switched to in my position has to do with setting up for hardware. I'm as some of you may know, like I'm into CPU mining right now. And there's several reasons for that, but I want to get the most hardware and the most universal hardware and the hardware that gives me the most options for the future.
Yeah. So this is actually a good segue into kind of what your next step was when you realized that the Bitcoin ASICs were not going to work out for you during this time period. So your next step, and you just put up a video about this a couple of days ago, really going into detail, and such an interesting video. So please do give them a little brief overview of that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Well, the gist of the video is that I'm into CPU mining right now. I'm starting from a place that I kind of had no hardware. I got wrecked so hard.
Yeah, I have one little question, because in your video, you do mention CPU mining, but and you do speak about that, but you also seem to be speaking about proof of useful work, which is sort of a bit of a combination of both CPU with GPU mining. So
yes.
Is it both of those avenues that you're going down, or what's the what's the strategy kind of?
That's where the options come in.
Right.
That's where the options come in. And not only that, every one of those could be the basis for a GPU miner as well. They all have about 6 slots, PCIe slots on them. And as well as, you can get those splitters, those PCIe splitters that we've all used, or a lot of us have used.
Yeah.
And so they could be CPU miners, they could be proof of useful work miners, or they could be GPU miners.
So basically you're building custom computers in a way,
Yes.
with the intention of options to
Yes.
make them be able to go down sort of any of the different routes that are in computing, really, to be fair.
Yes, that's right. It's, I mean, in my view, we're going to go into, with AI and everything, we're going to be in a compute revolution. You know, in the past, you heard about, we had the industrial revolution. You know, I think we're going to a compute power revolution.
Yeah.
And not only that though, with these miners, I'm using, you know, I mentioned previously, one of the biggest mistakes I had with the Bitcoin ASICs was not knowing my competition. And what I've found is a safer route, actually, for me, is that I would rather be a big fish in a small pond. I wanted to find a place where I can win. And I think it's much more profitable to do my research and to find these new projects, these new up and coming projects, and support those projects versus trying to just go for the big dog and like play in the major leagues, you know?
Yeah. This is very, very, very interesting to me because
Yes.
in a way, our strategies are very similar, but there are also some differences. And this is why I love talking to sort of just like smart switched on people that do their research as yourself. And I had a similar video with Mining Stacker recently.
Yeah,
and
I love Mining Stacker.
Dude, he's so clever.
It's for that thought process. You know, that's why I love watching him.
Because between the two of us, like we've kind of come to this similar conclusion of like, you need to have the almost agility, like of being diverse in what you can do. But for me, that just looked like, okay, I'm going to set up like a couple of GPU rigs. I'm going to set up some CPU mining rigs. I'm going to get a couple of ASICs. I'm going, you know, like just so that I have this plethora of different mining equipment where at any one point, at least one of those categories will be profitable, hopefully, right?
Yes.
Well, for you, it's more like building up rigs in a way where the rigs themselves can be very versatile. And that's
right.
Really interesting to me, and an approach that I hadn't really considered, which I love. You know, I love having my eyes opened to new concepts like this.
Yeah, because I've come to a realization with the ASICs in particular that like one of the things that we love about them is one of their like biggest downfalls for home miners, and that is the simplicity. Because with that simplicity and that just basically that industrial machine, it just allows anybody with tons of money to just blow those coins out as far as, you know, hash rate.
Yeah.
And we're finding that out. It's especially bad with coins that are new or semi-new, like Kadena, for instance, and like soon to be with
Casper, or
yes, Casper. That's correct. And it's like we're watching it happen right in front of us. Where with Bitcoin, if you add, you know, a few exahash to it, it doesn't hardly move, you know, because it's so high. But if you add, you know, an exahash to Kadena, it just boom, profit's gone.
Yeah,
you know, they're too new, and the simplicity of the ASIC, the simplicity of the ASICs just allow corporations to just buy them, plug them in. You know, just like I think with 1,500 of those Casper miners, one person, you know, they secured 1,500 of them.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
yeah, that's a lot of hash rates onto one coin, and what like I hear you, and I completely agree with what you're saying. The one thing where I think I see things just a little bit differently is looking at, because you say, oh, with Bitcoin, another exahash won't make that big of a difference. And I do agree with that. But I just think there's two sides to the coin there where specifically for, I think actually specifically Bitcoin, because that is such an established industry with such a sort of secure kind of level of income. I think that is why, again, specifically Bitcoin is so attractive to industrial mining companies. While I do think for the smaller, like we're talking really smaller cap coins, like Kadena, I think if you are a big mining company with warehouses in China or America or whatever, right? You might be less likely to take such a big risk on those smaller cap coins than you are just, you know, just push another million into Bitcoin ASICs. Do you see where I'm coming from?
And I do agree with that totally. But there's a lot of people out there that have millions of dollars that are willing to take that risk, that are willing to buy 1,500 Casper miners.
Yeah,
you know, that's not a Bitcoin farm that's doing that.
No.
You know, that's the wealthy like entrepreneur that just wants to just, you know, have because I mean, during my during my trading days, it was very often that I would see multi-million-dollar orders come in. I mean, $80 million at a time for a Bitcoin purchase, you know, and sell. I mean, so that type of money in crypto is thrown around all the time.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
is scary in a way.
It is scary, but you know, that's what it's going to take to, you know, we always want that price to pump, you know, that's what it's going to take. So like really, the combination, and you're right, everybody's situation is different, you know, to where buying that Kadena miner or that Casper miner might make sense for them. But for my situation, that I kind of had no, you know, hardware to begin with, like I felt like that this was a good start for me, you know, as well. And maybe a good start for other people that might have been in a similar situation. They had to, you know, short sell their equipment or whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap our call up here, I have one last question for you. It's the same question that I asked Mining Stacker, and I want to ask this to as many guests as I can on my channel here. So most people are thinking 2025 is going to be the next big bull market for crypto, in just, you know, following along with the halving schedule and all of that. What do you think we will see? Will we see crypto bull market 2025? Will it be greater than before, not as big as before? What are your kind of predictions? Not financial advice or anything like that, just where is your head at in that regard?
Yeah, not financial advice, but you know, I because my dream got so let's say crushed, you know, in my situation, I have now like a much more steady approach to things. You know, I'm not focused on so much like just big huge price pump. I'm focused on longevity and I would rather have a for sure 4x or 5x versus, you know, a 50x or 100x that so many people risk. So as far as time frames go, I would say that, you know, I'm kind of in line with what most people think. We're looking at a 2024, 2025 situation. And timing is really one of the most important things. Like that's why I think that right now in this bear market, you know, you hear people talk about bear market building. It's time to stack coins and it's time to focus on just accumulation. We're in a huge accumulation zone right now.
Love it. And what a great notion to end on. Everybody, please go check out Hashforce's channel. Obviously, link will be in the video description. And yeah, Hashforce, Steven, thank you so much for joining me.
I appreciate it, Zeb. Thank you.